G'day ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to be watching a game here on Shakura's Plateau between a Zerg and a Terran. This is going to be a bit of fun. As you can see, it's a bit of a longer one. I love doing these longer games. They provide a lot more insight as to how some of the players get around particular tactics and that sort of thing. But here on Shakura's, up in the top right hand position, we are going to be seeing RexCrespo, who is, this is obviously from the Korean ladder. Place where I pretty much feature most of the replays I have a look at, but yeah, this is going to be Crespo from the Rex team. They've got a few players. I've seen a couple of their replays around, but this one was one that really stood out. So we'll have a look at what goes on today. And down in the bottom left corner, we've got a Terran by the name of Green, who conveniently is in the blue color. So that'll be a bit of fun for you guys watching at home. Perhaps we can play around with the player colors and that sort of thing. Hang on, I don't know if this actually works. No, it doesn't. Not in this. Anyway, used to work. Brood War used to work. Anyway, so this is going to be on Shakura's, of course, which provides the Zerg with an easy way to expand, of course, as per most maps, taking that natural pretty quickly there, of course, and you rarely ever see Zergs try and do sort of one base early attacks or anything like that. Not the best way to play, especially when you're playing against the Terran, and as we can see, speaking of which, we're going to have Green just walling off here at the top of the ramp. So, interesting to see. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you have, let me know, and you know, we can make a discussion of it somehow, but there have been a lot of Terrans who've been walling down on the bottom of the ramp recently. I don't know if this is some new thing which some people have sort of realized, oh my god, you can wall at the bottom of the ramp, or not, but I don't know, it's been really weird. I've seen like 4 or 5 people do it against me, and it's just kind of weird. Anyway, as we can see, we got that Rax just going across here from Green. It's got a bit of harassment coming on with that drone. It's done a little bit of damage, but it's taken some damage itself, and it's probably going to have to retreat for the time being. What has the drone seen, you ask? Well, the drone's come through, seen the refinery, which is the key part of actually seeing this, getting the scouting done, is seeing if your Terran opponent actually has taken the gas, and possibly if he can get inside, he may be able to see if he is actually mining from that gas, which would be a big tell as to what exactly is going on in the Terran base. But of course, knows that Marine is just on the way, almost done, and doesn't want to really lose that drone if he doesn't have to. So got some intel there, which is always good to do, and he's going to have an Overlord in position to grab some intel later on as well, which is very good as well. So we do have a bunker going down from Green. It looks as if he's going to try and get an attack going here. Has spotted the hatchery. The hatchery is almost done. We can see that Crespo should be able to see this and should be able to react pretty quickly here. He's sending down 2 drones. I like this. He's not overreacting. Has seen that the gas was on the way from the Terran, so it can't be too much marine pressure unless he was faking on that gas. But comes down, destroys the SCV, and that is going to be the end of that for the time being. Now, we did see a Marine just on the minimap there. In fact, 2 of them were actually on the way to the base. If they could get that bunker up, it could have been a little bit of trouble there for Crespo, but as we mentioned, not overreacting, just bringing down a couple of drones, picking off that SCV, and doing a fantastic job with it. So he's done a good job there, isn't overreacting, is getting a few lings. He's got 4 out, which is pretty standard. Just going to use these to take care of that bunker. Of course, we'll probably see the Terran actually sacrifice and just cancel that bunker in a short moment, and we'll probably see the reward from that. There you go, the 75 minerals, which is that little bonus little thing that they've added in. That Blizzard added in the recent 1.4. There we go. I'm thinking of what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of some other game that I was playing the other day where you have a 4.0 patch. Anyway, that was done, and it obviously helps out in the casting stakes. You see people where sometimes you kind of say, was that hatchery cancelled? Was that Nexus cancelled? I don't know. You can't actually tell sometimes in the heat of the moment, but now you definitely can tell. It's very cool, so thank you to Blizzard for that. But as we can see, Crespo just putting down a spine crawler as per standard. Going to be getting that up to make sure he's got some defense. Pumping away at those drones. We've still got no gas, as you'll see there, so still looking to get up a very, very heavy economy. As we can see, just getting 5 more drones on the way. As we can see on the production tab there, has 3 queens out. This is going to be that no gas style startup from our Zerg player. He's going to be doing a little bit of a the Ice Fisher Spanishiwa style opening, no gas, and just sort of pump up the drones till around about 40, and then you can slap down your gas, and as we can see, he's getting those 2 now. There were a couple of Hellions out, as we can see here. We've probably got that Hellion opening here from the Terran. Indeed, it is the reacted Hellion, just going to actually get only 4 of those Hellions out now. Going to be just trying to look and poke around the map to make sure that the Zerg doesn't have too much map control. And of course, if he can get inside this natural, which I highly doubt he will, he can definitely cause some damage if those queens aren't very watchful of that ramp. But as we can see, Green just sort of having a look around the map, getting that map control. It's very interesting, the map control and the map dominance in the early part of Zerg versus Terran. You've got the Lings that come out after some time and do hold the map for a short period, and then providing the Terran does do one of these standard Hellion builds, you actually lose map control to those Hellions, and as we can see, they're just providing a little bit of a nuisance there to those Queens. The Queens are going to have to be very careful with their positioning. Don't want to let the Hellions get inside, and as we can see, in fact, a Baneling nest is now going down for Crespo, so he's not going to be wasting any time here. He's going to be getting those Banelings up very soon here. Currently sitting on a total of 42 drones, so he's definitely hit up that mark that you do need with the with that no gas opening there, and we'll be able to really boost up this economy quite soon. And as we can see, a lot of Lings are being put out just for the moment here. They are for the just for the defense in case there's anything tricky coming along from Green. And now we'll just have a look at what Green's up to. He's currently got his stim on the way. That's just about done. A couple of medevacs are also coming through as well, coming out of a reacted starport. The factory not producing anything extra, of course. Those 4 Hellions that are out are still alive, so there's no need to replace them just yet. And I love this double engineering bay coming up. So he is going to be going very heavy bio, of course, at the start of the game. This generally your standard sort of bacon that you would use in a Zerg versus Terran. And it looks as if he may be going. We've got this, what have we got? We've got these Marines out here. We've got a total of around about 12 Marines out at the moment. And we've also, can we see, yeah, we've got those Hellions that look to be... We'll probably see them move around in just a little bit. In fact, no, we've actually got the medevacs just out on the map picking up what they can straight away. We've got a couple of Hellions on the ground. This is going to be a drop inside the back. I think the Crespo will be easily prepared for this with his excellent creep spread already. He's going to be able to see that this drop is coming in. Speedlings and Banelings are well prepared for this. Trying to use the Hellion on the low ground to fend off some of those attacks on the drop, but it looks as if he's going to have the bonus of actually just using those forces on the ground anyway. But one Queen is going to be a bit out of position here. In fact, a second Queen on the ground as well is also not going to be getting too much done, and he's going to have to fall back here and be very careful with these Banelings. You don't want to lose too many of them. In fact, not very good efficiency here on those Zerglings. They actually took down only a few of those Marines, and he's now got a drop inside the base. We've got 2 Hellions, and a third is just about to pop out, and then those Marines as well. The stim is done, so this is going to be very dangerous for Crespo. Does have a few Banelings just popping up here. They're going to try and run into those forces. Don't actually get too much done, but they did explode in time to do some damage on those Hellions. Looks as if these Lings will clean up the rest of this attack. If not, then the medevacs will take them back home, and as we can see, they're just going to run away off to the side, probably try and heal up what they can, maybe snipe off an Overlord. I'd love to see if Green is going to do that. He does have a few of these Marines sitting in here inside those medevacs, but obviously not going to do that for the time being. So nice little harassment there. He has forced a few units to come out of Crespo, as we can see, currently sitting on 54 drones. He may have wanted that to be a little bit higher here, but does certainly have a good defense if that type of attack is to come about again. Now, as we mentioned just before, the creep spread from Crespo has been absolutely fantastic. As we can see, he's got 2 active creep tumors over here. We've got around about 6,000 in the middle as well, and they're going to be just pulsing through the map there, as you can see, just spreading out. He's in fact getting his creep spread all the way across to this side, where he's putting up that third base. Going to be getting that up and running quite soon as well, and we'll be able to transfer a lot of drones around to get some good saturation on the bases. And as we can see, that medevac just coming back to play around with this Overlord. Going to take out this one here, but we do have a lot of Mutalisks out on the map. We've actually got 10 Mutalisks coming out here. They're going to have a fun time with cleaning up this medevac. As you can see, the Hellions may have to drop out and abandon ship, but they're not going to be able to. The Mutalisks now just cleaning up, and they will be able to do. This is once again that back and forth aspect of the map control in this particular matchup, where Crespo's lost. He had lost it before, but now he's gained it back a bit. But once these Mutalisks get into a bit of a higher number, he will be able to just fully control the map. And as we can see, trying to take out some of these Banelings with some minor Marine drops on top of the Banelings. Beautiful control there by Crespo, though, keeping the Banelings from attacking those Marines. The idea there, if you're not sure what was going on, was that these Banelings could have been sacrificed on one lonely Marine, and that is obviously not the way you want to utilize your Banelings. You want to use them on multiple batches of Marines. If you can take out more than 2, 3, that is excellent, and that is exactly what you want to do. But as we can see, looks as if Crespo is just cruising into the base, going to get a good read on what exactly is coming out of the Terran base. Can see a few of those of the racks here. As we can see, we've got at least 4 possibly a 5th and a 6th on the way as well, and he will be able to determine what forces he'll need to actually deal with the Terran in with that information. So you can see that he does have a lot of Marines to deal with, so he doesn't really want to go too far on there. And as we saw on the production tab, we did have upgrades going out quite quickly there for green, so he's currently sitting at 1-1. That's where those Marines start getting a little bit dangerous, is when they get to those upgrades, hitting 2-2, and then of course 3-3 is where they become a big problem. But it looks as if green is going to be trying to do another drop down the southern side of the map, probably looking to take out that third base again. Let's have a look at the waypoint of this medevac. In fact, he's just removed it. Thank you for that, green. But it looks as if this Mutaflock has actually seen that a medevac may be heading across the side of the map, doing a fantastic job of coming across here. He's going to lose one of those Mutalisks, perhaps a second as well, maybe a third if he's not careful, but he is going to escape for the time being, keeping a couple of those Mutalisks still alive at the moment, and he is going to be able to perform some more harassment around the Terran base if possible. Another big group of the Mutalisks is going to head up and catch up with the rest of the flock, and they're going to be running through and trying to cause some more damage inside the Terran base, I would think. Going to try and maybe take out some of these supply depots if possible. There is one turret inside the base, just protecting that mineral line. He does have plus 2-2 on the way as well, so he is going to be able to get a lot of damage out of those Marines if they get too close to the Mutalisks. And speaking of which, does stim up a bunch of those Marines trying to take out some of those Mutalisks. Doesn't get too much done, but here we go. He's got a second batch inside the main as well, not actually getting any kills on the remaining Mutalisks. In fact, have a look at this guy. He's actually sitting there on 11 health, not actually doing too much, but it looks as if we've got another drop from green coming in the back of the main base. But Crespo is absolutely prepared for everything here. Just dropping one lonely Mutalisk in here with a few Marines and with the Zerglings, and we'll be way prepared to actually take out this drop and actually just taking care of the rest of the Marines and the medevac. Good capture there for Crespo. So he's doing a good job at the moment dealing with these harassment drops. And speaking of which, another one here from green, doing a fantastic job of trying to keep the Zerg on his toes. Doesn't want the Zerg to be just massing up idly without any threat at all. And it looks as if he is going to be able to clean this one up as well. No evacuation there on those Marines. They are not going to have a good day, but it looks as if Crespo is dealing with some other pressure in the middle here. Looks as if green is finally starting to move into the middle. We do have siege mode. Why isn't he sieging this tank up? I'm not sure. But there is a big group of Lings and Banelings just hanging out here at a potential 4th base for green. So not really sure why they haven't actually tried to do something. We've got a couple of extra racks being built in the middle there, along with another factory. So we're going to be switching into a lot of tank productions very, very soon here for green. And he's going to be trying to push out into the middle and control this section of the map. Now, the key part of actually controlling this little section here, apart from the fact if you can deny some of these creep tumors, that actually does a great job for you. But it looks as if, meanwhile, we're going to have an attack here from these Banelings and the Lings on this big Marine group that was trying to come through here, taking out a lot of them. They are going to be able to just cut through everything. In fact, coming in from both sides like raptors in Jurassic Park. Crespo is just streaming through here with those Lings and the Mutalisks and the Banelings now trying to come in to take care of some of these Marines. Not going to be able to do too much there. There are a few bunkers which should be able to protect the Marines for the time being, but just losing so many of those tanks there. Crespo doing a fantastic job just cleaning up with these Mutalisks. As you can see, there's still a very decent Mutalisk flock just hanging out in the map there. One lonely medevac, not really sure what this is actually going to be doing here, but just resupplying as fast as possible. Crespo sitting at 168 supply to the 116 of green. So green's going to need to do some he's going to need to start pushing, I think. If he's going to get some tanks out, he's going to need to do it very soon. But it looks as if another good catch there by those Mutalisks, taking out one of those medevacs and a lot of Marines that were inside. And just look at that medevac count here. We'll just have a quick look on the units tab. We have 5. He was actually a lot higher than that before. I think he was around about the 9 or 10 mark, but he actually lost a lot of them in that attack through the middle. Speaking of attacks, we've got Mutalisks just popping in the back door of the main base, just saying hello supply depots, goodbye supply depots, and he is going to put down some of that supply of green. And only with that one turret to defend, these Marines are going to have a big job ahead of them to take care of that Mutalisk flock, but they do force it back, deflecting the Mutalisk for the time being, and we'll see what green is going to get up to very soon, because as we can see, Crespo is just doing a great job getting some upgrades here. He's up to +2 on his melee damage. He's got the infestation pit, no pathogen glands just yet, just actually getting that so he can get his hive up and running, and I'm thinking he may be looking to switch into Ultralisk very soon. So we'll see see what happens with these upgrades. We want to see the Carapace level 2 come up very soon as well. And as we can see, he's just doing a great job with his mining at the moment. A little bit low on this base, of course. He's taken some shots on this base, but it looks as if we've got a medevac drop up the bottom side here, but another one up the top, catching that one out straight away. And it looks as if he did deflect this one. Beautiful control with all of his forces here by Crespo. He's just doing a great job of holding off these attacks. If he's not actually killing them before they get to the location they were intended for, he's actually just holding them back with those slings and the banelings on the ground. Of course, with that massive mobile presence, he is able to deal with everything on the ground. So those Mutalisks, they have a round the world ticket because they are absolutely everywhere. They are all over this map. In fact, they may be heading up top to catch this drop, which is just coming through the top section of the map there, but it looks as if we've got another one down the bottom as well. So Crespo's got to be very careful here. These multi-pronged attacks could be doing a little bit of damage if Green does a little bit more micro with them, and it looks as if he is going to try and double drop here inside the 4th base. If he can get this going, he may be able to do a bit of damage, but again, Crespo, with that fantastic knowledge about what is going on the map here, doesn't want to head into that pack of Marines that's sitting inside the corner, but what he does want to do is jump inside when they move out from the corner, and does that quite well, actually stopping that attack from getting too much done. But again, these Mutalisks just holding the fort, just flying around the map and doing so much damage. We've got a huge total of those Mutalisks here, as we can see on the units tab, 27 Mutalisks. Don't want to get like Hydro at MLG and get too many Mutalisks, I think, but he's doing a great job with actually controlling the map so far. And speaking of control, have a look at this from Green. He's just moving out through the middle of the map. No upgrades on those Terran vehicles just yet. He does have a couple of Thors, which will certainly help with dealing with this big Muta ball, but if he can actually get some shots off when the Mutalisks are clumped, he'll be doing a lot of damage to them. But it looks as if Crespo is just actually looking to take out this little attack force here down in the bottom side. But while he's doing that, Green is actually just pushing into the middle. Got to be very careful with these Marines. Don't want to lose too many of them, especially given how many Mutalisks are actually out on the map. The 2 Thors, whilst they can do a big amount of damage to big clumps, you won't be able to do huge damage. But it looks as if Green is actually doing a huge amount of damage. Those Mutalisks actually getting absolutely annihilated by the Thors. Have a look at the Mutalisk count there. We've actually got that down to 9, so he's actually done a great job with the Thors there. But have a look at the production tab, 11. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Ultralisks are on the way for Crespo. He's been saving up that money. Look at all these eggs. We've got a whole bunch of Lings on the way as well. +3 to weapons is also coming through soon for those Lings and the Ultralisks. An attack just commencing here at the top, but that's not going to get too much done. Trying to push through the middle here is Green. He's trying to siege up some tanks, get these Thors shooting at those Mutalisks if they come back again. But here come the Ling and the Ultralisk train. Here it comes. Get ready for this. Oh my god, here he comes. He's just going to push through the middle here, just actually trying to get a surround on everything he can so they cannot escape, and doing huge amounts of damage. Look at all of that, just cleaning through there with all of those Ultralisks. They do have their +2 to their weapons. Their extra armor is also on the way, so they're not going to be fully that sort of presence where they will just absolutely destroy everything just yet, but he certainly will be able to clean up a lot of what is going on here. But as you can see, just at the top here, we've actually got an attack on that infestation pit. The Ultralisks, meanwhile, are just trying to push through the middle of the map and do whatever damage they can. One lonely Ultralisk just trying to get through some of these Marines, not going to get too much done. One Marine does go down. That guy was a bit of a hero, but he didn't actually... He didn't sacrifice himself too well, but obviously he did get some damage done. And here is, again, these medevac drops are actually starting to do a little bit of damage, just actually pushing the Zerg forces out of position. Obviously, he wants to keep as many of these Lings with the Ultralisks as possible. They are actually, a lot of people, you sort of get confused and you say, well, the key part of this attack is the Ultralisks. They do a lot of damage. I won't disagree with that. They're currently doing 43 damage to the armored forces of the Terran. Now, that's the key part, is that they're going to do massive damage against these tanks, but the thing is, these Lings are also something that are going to do a heap of damage. We'll have a look in just a second if they do have their the adrenal glands upgrade. I don't think they do, but what he has not done just yet is check this top base. He's not going to be aware that there is a base here from Green. Mining at the top there, we've got another attack down here at the 4th base of Crespo, but just while this is going on down in the Terran side of the map, he's pushing through with all of these Ultralisks. We've got 8 left over. They're starting to lose their health. They're getting a little bit low, a couple of them. They're going to have to be very careful. One random infested Terran being thrown up there. Not really sure what the point of that was, but he's going to do a little bit of damage, and just slicing through through all of those SCVs, trying to run them away as fast as possible. Look at the health of these guys. They're in a lot of trouble here. Just going to actually meat shield. It's for the good of the cause. And have a look at that. Just meat shielding there for those Ultralisks. And we now got we've got one Marauder just popping out. In fact, 3 more Marauders on the way here from Green. And he's going to be doing what he can with those Marauders. Of course, they'll do extra damage to these Ultralisks. Meanwhile, just this base is mining out quite nicely here for Green. He's currently got this base up on... Oh, no, he doesn't. He's got some recarpeting to do at this base, I'll tell you what. But it looks as if these Marines are going to have something to say about that. Just coming through here. The Marines, just keep in mind, are 3-3. This means they're going to be doing a lot of damage even to these Ultralisks. And speaking of high-level units, look at that. We've got 4 Broodlords on the way. So Crespo has just been doing a great job getting his tech up. The one problem I can see here is that his drones are actually at a very sort of low count for this portion of the game. Currently sitting at 49. He's had to spend a lot on replenishing his forces. I'm just a little bit skeptical of this attack. He needs to be very careful with how he pushes into these Terran forces. You don't want to actually spend too much just trying to push back when the Terran is sitting here turtling as he is. He's got a few tanks. He's starting to get Marauders out as well, along with the Marines, and just trying to attack through into this top base with some of those Lings, doing a good job of stopping that base from mining. Still not aware of that base up in the 11 o'clock position, but pushing through are these Ultralisks. They're just going to absolutely roll through everything here. The Broodlords off to the side will be, they've got free reign as well. There are no Vikings out just at the moment. In fact, there may be one just on the way. There's 2 on the way here, but it looks as if Lings are trying to counterattack inside the natural expansion here. The Broodlords are finally going to actually have something to contend with them in the sky. The Ultra is now trying to do what they can to get rid of some of these tanks. This is getting a little bit uglier. I've got to say it. This is looking a little bit worrisome for Crespo. Sorry, I totally forgot his name there. But he's just really a little bit worried about his actual mining here. Let's have a quick look at the income tab. He's currently sitting at 1200, so he is actually just a tiny bit ahead of where the Terran is at the moment, sitting on 33 SCVs. Does have the power of those mules, of course, but he's actually losing a lot of these SCVs. This could turn around. This is actually getting to 20. Going down and down with those SCVs. 18, we're getting lower and lower. These Lings are doing a fantastic job, taking it down to 15. This could get a little bit lower maybe. Nope, actually stopped by that Marine Marauder medevac attack, and we'll probably see Green probably look to try and push here very soon, because if he doesn't, he is definitely going to be going down. There are just these very high-powered units from the Zerg starting to creep out in a lot greater numbers, like Sand People in Star Wars, and it looks as if we've got 5 armor on those Ultralisks, which means they'll be taking very little damage, but it looks as if with those 60, wow, there's like 50 billion medevacs up in the sky here, so that's going to be a little bit of a worry there. But with those 3-3 Marauders, he's going to be doing good damage to those Ultralisks. Just got to be careful with how he positions things. Got a few Banelings here, which could definitely help out. Looks as if he's going to try and push through here. Banelings cleaning up a lot of these forces here, and we'll see that the Ultralisk actually doing great damage against the rest of the forces here. Just a lot of this bio force is now streaming in here from Green. He's going to be doing a great amount of damage to those Ultralisks, just trying to split up these units very nicely there by Green, and now this is getting very, very worrisome for Crespo. I know I said it before, but now he's in trouble again. His game has been swinging back and forth like a grandfather clock in your grandma's house. And as you can see, coming down to take out this 6th base, it takes out a few drones while he's there. May lose a Marine or 2, maybe, no. But what he will have to contend with is his Ultralisks here, doing a good job with some stutter step there. That is absolutely fantastic stuff there from Green. Just taking out the rest of the Ultralisks if he can. Takes out one. May take out the 2nd, and he should indeed. There it goes. And that guy exploding all over the ground like one of those animals in the Bear Grylls episode where he just cuts everything open. Anyway, Overlord's dying in the middle of the map. Not sure what is going on here. One Ultralisk controlling this top base. Good job there by Crespo to take out these bases. But it looks as if he's going to have a bit of a problem here with all of these attacking units here inside his 5th base. He's actually taken that one out. So now Crespo is actually getting very, very low. Look at this. We've actually got Crespo sitting on 44 drones. In fact, hello, we've only got 9 SCVs for Green. So Green currently is probably, what is he actually mining off? He's mining off this base here, and is looking to take perhaps the base, the base at the 12 o'clock position. So if he can get that going, that'll actually be quite nice, because he is protected for some time by the rocks just here. And as we can see, we've just sort of settled for the moment here. There's no attacks going on. We've got the only mining base here for Crespo is this one down the bottom. He does have a tiny bit of minerals left here. The natural is, of course, all pretty much gone as well, and the main is done. But it looks as if he may be aware of this attack, the base that might try and go up here in this top top position, so he should be able to take care of it if he can get the Lings inside. The problem is actually doing all that damage there, but it looks as if Green is well aware of this and is going to be ready to attack if he does see that counter go through. And now that the base down here, what originally was the third base, is now done, it looks as if Green is actually going to move this orbital command up to the top side. You're going to plant this one down and get some mining going. He should be able to throw down a few mules. In fact, the mules have been thrown down up here, so this is actually going to be a bit of a worry for Green here, given that he has that extremely low SCV count and only those mules to work with. He could be in a bit of trouble again. This game is swinging back and forth. I actually have no clue which way this is going to go. Wow, huge fungals there by Crespo. He has put down all of those Marines to very low health. Unfortunately, the problem for him is that there are no Lings on the ground to actually clean up the rest of these Marine forces, and it looks as if Green is going to be in a very powerful position right here. He's got so many medevacs up in the sky to heal up these Marines. They're going to be doing a lot of damage, and as we can see, more resupplying units coming through the middle here. He's going to try and take out as much as he can before the next push comes from Crespo. It is actually looking very bad for Crespo right now. The Marines are now trying to split up, just making sure that they don't die too quickly to those Banelings. But now, with no threat on the ground, he can run through here and take care of these Broodlords, and down go the two Broodlords, and there is the game for Crespo. Green just doing a fantastic job staying alive like the Bee Gees there, sticking through it the whole time, and just using those mules to his advantage, of course, taking this base and doing a good job of mining for that one without any harassment for a while, and then just doing drops all over the place. So he was doing a good job with that, and then was able to hold back those Ultralisk attacks. I just think that a couple of the attacks with the Ultralisk and the Broodlords that came through this side was perhaps pushing it a little bit for Crespo. He should have been perhaps getting some of his drones back up and running so he could be mining a little bit better and resupplying a little bit faster. But hey, obviously the winner is the one who tells the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game, and we'll see some more games very soon. Cheers.